He takes on, of course, UFC on ESPN3. He'll take on Marcos Rogerio de Lima. The one and only Stefan Struve is here. Hi, Stefan.
What's up, Luke? How are you?
Good, buddy. How is Beaverwick?
Everything's good, man. It's good to be home for a while. Been doing my camps in Florida for the last 7 fights, and this one I was at home. So yeah, everything's good, man. It's good to be here a little longer for a change.
What do people do for fun in Beaverwick?
Well, usually this time of year, February, it's freezing cold and there's snow, but right now it's in the 50s. So it was actually nice to be outside for a change, for fun. Well, it's not exactly beach weather, but what do people do for fun right now this time of the year? Normally ice skating, making snowmen, but right now not so much.
Are you a big ice skater, Stefan Struve?
I haven't done so for a long time. No, I haven't.
You'd be like a giraffe out there.
I'd make it look good, though.
I believe you. I believe you. You're very athletic. I believe you. Hey, so why did you decide to go back to the Netherlands for this one, or has that been more recent?
I've been traveling a ton the last couple of years, back and forth to Florida, and I was in Kazakhstan for to corner a teammate of mine in December. And then the fight got announced. I signed the fight, and I was like, I'm in Kazakhstan now. I couldn't make it into Florida until like halfway January. Then I would have to travel back to Europe halfway February. So I'd only have like 4 weeks to train. Plus, I'd have like 3 jet lags in a row. It just didn't make sense for me, And at first, I wasn't sure if I would have the right amount of training partners. But that turned out great, and I'm very pleased, very happy with how the camp went.
So where are you training? Like the gym where you started, or someplace new, or what?
Yeah, also training with my longtime coach Bob Schreiber. I trained a lot with Timu Sasi, who have a bunch of big heavyweights. Just made my way around a couple gyms and made it work like that. So.
And Holland is small, right? You can drive end to end in like a few hours.
Yeah, like north to south in like 3-4 hours. So it's not big at all. So you have to make it work, train with each other, and it was actually nice to train with the guys I always used to work with for a change. Although like the change has got nothing to do with the quality of training or the team in South Florida, because the team over there and the coaches are everything a fighter could wish for. They were tremendous the last 7 fights, and as I said, got nothing to do with this change. But now and then it is good to change things up a little bit. It's very nice to be home, and it's very nice because I'll only have to travel 19 minutes to Prague tomorrow to be there. So that's awesome.
Yeah, that has to be a bit of a relief. So let's talk about you for a second, man. You're in an interesting position. It's no secret. You're coming off 3 losses in a row here. I believe that's never really happened for you before. Let's start with a few things. How hard has it been mentally to deal with that?
Very frustrating, of course. And I was in all those fights. I had good moments in all those fights. And at the end of the day, the coin flipped their way, and they were better that night. But I know for sure that I could beat all the guys I fought those nights. I just fight a little more aggressive, fight a little higher pace. There are some reasons why I wasn't performing. No excuses, but I believe that this fight I'll get my hand raised again.
You don't have, and again, I can only know from the outside looking in. I've not been in your camp. I don't know your life, so that's why I'm asking these questions. There are no lingering health concerns, right?
Well, it's not really a concern. I've been fighting my whole life with the heart disease. Like that's just the thing. I've had that my whole career. So normally, it is found in kids when they are young. And then they are told that these types of combat sports aren't the best decisions, because one day they would probably need surgery and you'd be on blood thinners and all that, and they'd be hard to quit. And for there's erosion in my heart. The aortic valve will decay faster than probably when I wouldn't train, but that's not for sure either. So there's just an abnormality in my heart, but I'm doing pretty damn good with it. So like I wouldn't do anything else with it. It is what it is. It's part of me. So
And you obviously have to get medical screening, so I'm not worried about that. You feel fine,
yeah.
right?
Oh yeah, always, man. I get checked 2-3 times a year um, for that, and it's been very stable since I've been on the meds. Everything is just doing fine. Yeah, it's absolutely no concern for me. So.
What is your mental posture heading into this contest? Everybody wants a win every time, obviously. Do you think of it like I have to get out back in the win column, or it's just another fight? Like when you think about what's the best way to get you back into the win column, what mental posture do you take?
Well, you try to not be, in a spot where you're worried about, winning. Although always need to be worried about winning, because that's why you go in that cage. But it's frustrating that I lost 3 fights in a row. But at the end of the day, I treated it just like any other fight. I believe in myself. I feel good. There's no, there's nothing in my head that holds me back. So I just need to fight hard and go in there and get my hand raised. Simple.
Let me ask you a question that a lot of people have asked me. You obviously have some great wins. You have a win over Stipe Miocic, and a stoppage win at that, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, right? But here's one thing that people have always asked me. Understand, I don't know what you know, so I'm going to ask this from a position of relative ignorance. But some people have brought this up, and I think I've seen it too. They make the criticism, constructive or otherwise, that you don't fight tall. You're very tall, but it's not like you don't really love. You have a jab, but you don't like stick behind the jab. I'm sure you may have heard this before. What do you make of whether or not your fighting style optimizes your limb length and your stature?
Well, I agree with it partially. I think I gotten way better with it. But in the beginning of my career, I didn't really fully understand how to use my reach, how to fight long. I always came forward and was looking for a fight, and I was looking to be the aggressor. But now I really understand that if I fight like that with smaller guys who are more explosive, I'm gonna end up on the short end. It's simple as that. So I really had to develop that. And I think I got on a lot better with it. Unfortunately, in the last couple of fights, it didn't always show, but that was actually, I didn't really get caught as much in those fights. It was more the takedowns in the last 2 fights that cost me the fights. Almost, knocked out Tibora in that last fight with a head kick, and was doing pretty good on the outside, but he was sharp with his takedowns. I believe that fighting tall and just being smart with it will be one of the things this weekend that's going to get my hand raised. So
let's talk about your opponent, Brazilian, heavy-handed, has gone, I think, a bit back and forth with weight classes. For a while there, fought at middleweight, but he's back at heavyweight now. He has 1 win since doing that over Adam Wieczorek. What do you make of your opponent? When you think about what the hurdles are you have to clear to win, what are they?
Yeah. Well, the one thing, as I just said, I need to be aggressive, but smart aggressive. Like I need to have him on the outside, because if you fight him on the inside, he's gonna land something, and he hits like a truck. Like there's no secret in that. So just be very smart with it. I believe that he hits very hard, but he's very hittable himself. He's open to takedowns, and when you pressure him on the ground, he gives up certain things, certain openings for submissions and ground and pound. So I believe that if I fight smart and don't end up in a brawl with him, this is my fight. So
Interesting. What if I had to ask you what your goals were for this year? So let's say we talked a year from now. So what is it, February 18th? Imagine if we talked February 18th, 2020. What would you have liked to have accomplished in that time?
It's fairly early this year, so I always like to fight like 3 or 4 times a year, but let's just say 3 times this year. So what I want to do is win three fights this year. that was my goal last year. Unfortunately, it didn't go that way, but 3 wins this year is what I aim for. This is my last fight on my UFC contract, so we have to renegotiate after this. My first choice is to stay with the UFC, but there's also interesting players outside of the UFC. And end of the day, we fight for money, you know. So that's going to be interesting for me after this fight. Another reason to get a nice win. Yeah, and for the rest, man, it's all about winning. You know, winning and not getting here in there. So
are you looking for a pay bump?
A what?
A pay bump? A rise in pay?
Of course. Yeah, you don't want to drop in pay. You know, like that's not what I'm going to sign.
No, but here's the thing.
For a long time.
Here's the thing, Stefan. I'll talk to fighters and they'll be like, "Yeah, I want a bump in pay, but it really matters that I want to be with a certain organization or I want a certain fight." Believe it or not, I actually hear that a lot. It's changing. You're right. More fighters are like, "I'd rather get paid." I just want to clarify that's all I meant by that.
Well, you know, I'm very. I feel very good with the UFC because you know you get paid. You know, there's a couple other big organizations out there where you know you will get paid, but there's also organizations out there that say they pay a lot or will pay a lot, but you know I haven't dealt with them. So in the end of the day, I want to get paid to fight. You know, I've been fighting for a very long time, and I think the next couple of years are the years where you know I get paychecks that are serious. And that's what I'm aiming for. You know, I still like doing this, but end of the day, I'm also doing this for the money. So you know, a good performance on Saturday will definitely help with negotiations.
In a perfect world, what would you do with the money? Like if you got the right amount of money, right? Oh, I love this contract. It's great money. Career's over, however many years that is from now. What would you do with the money?
You just probably invest it in real estate so that when I'm done with my career, I could sit back and you know choose the profession I like, do what I want, and not have to worry about things too much. You know, I'll have my house paid off probably, and yeah, I don't need a lot every month. I don't spend a lot of money, so I would just like to have a nice, comfy life doing what I'd like to do.
Let me ask you a bit of a different question. You fought a bunch in twice in 2014, once in 2015, 2016, 2017, and then once in 2018. But you did have that injury layoff for a while. This the heart condition.
Yeah.
We saw Cain Velasquez come back last night. He was gone since UFC 200. I wonder A, what you made of the fight, and then two, how hard is it to come back from a layoff? Now, everyone's situation is different. Some people have catastrophic injuries. Some people just have life going on. But in general, what did you make of the fight? And then what do people not understand about making a comeback after time away?
You know, for him, it was a long, long time since he was in there. And then to have your first fight against a man like Francis Ngannou, there is no time for you to just smell the octagon and feel, you know, comfortable again. That guy is coming at you with everything he's got. He's going to try to knock your head off. And if he touches you, he's going to hurt you, you know. And he caught him off guard because the punch he landed wasn't crazy hard, but that man's got so much power, and he just walked into it. And then, unfortunately, you know, he blew his knee out. So it's just very unfortunate for him because I do believe he's got a lot more in the tank. But coming back, especially against a guy like that, man, that's no easy task, you know. But at the same time, he's Cain Velasquez. They're not going to give him, you know, a nobody to just, you know, make a return. You know, they gave me Alistair Overeem for my return when I came back after like 22 months with the heart issues and all that, you know. And then I was gonna fight Matt Mitrione. I had to black out in the locker room and all that because of the medication I was on. And then like 5 months after that, they gave me Alistair Overeem for my comeback. You know, it's you cannot hesitate. You cannot be, you know, just feeling the octagon and feeling everything again, and fighting someone like that. Because if you're not 100% focused, you're not gonna win that night.
Hmm. Well, I got to tell you, I'm really excited for your return, Stefan. You're always an exciting fighter, and you're right, man. Some of these losses, they've been just a little bit out of your grasp. But it feels like a couple of changes here, a few switches there, and you should be back in the win column. Plus, I hope you get what you want with your next contract, man. I'm really looking forward to Saturday. So, best of luck to you. You don't need it,
Man,
but thank you so much for your time, man.
Yeah, of course, man. No problem. Good to talk to you again.
All right, and enjoy Beaverwick.
Thank you. Will do.